We are halfway through the day of reckoning here at the World Simulation Football Classic. Groups A and B have been decided, with West Africa, Benelux, Eurasia, and Oceania already qualifying. Spoilers if you haven't seen the other video. Now we move on to Groups C and D, where there's still quite a bit left to determine. Hello, everyone. I am Metafiction, and we start in Group C, where the Alpine Federation have already punched their ticket but could still lose out on top spot depending on the results today. So they still have plenty to play for. Meanwhile, and elsewhere in the group, Norden will need a win as well as a draw in the other match, or a win by Eastern Eurasia, or Eastern Europe, excuse me, in order to potentially still advance on goal difference. It's a bit of a complicated setup, but ultimately, it's just going to come down to win and you're in. Or at the very least, win and you're likely in. In any case, we have kicked off here. It is the Alps who have kicked us off, going left to right in the white and red. And immediately, Centauri was tripped up there. I believe that was Ekholm Gunnarsson on the foul. Poggio standing over the corner kick and sending it in, headed right at the keeper. Gunnleifsson able to keep that one out, but it is another corner kick, this time from the other side, and it will be to Mana Whittington to deliver. That one floated in and dealt with. 44 able to get to it ahead of Wilhelmsdotter, who concedes another corner. Pressure building for the Alps on Norden. Poggio delivering this corner kick, and that one headed over by Scarpetta. Wilhelmsdotter passing it out to Peregrine Plink. Now Peterson knocking it up the wing for Kimi Häkkinen. Häkkinen with the cross, and that one headed over by Brooks Patron. Neither side really lighting things up as it stands. It's more of a tentative start here as Whittington sends in this corner kick. And that one is headed clear only as far as Owen 44, who takes the shot and goes well wide. The veteran striker missing the mark on this occasion. Dina Skovgaard. And it's back to Nikolai Ahmed. Forward. And Brooks Patron shooting well wide. Moridelo nearly losing out and does now. Ekholm Gunnarsson chipping it over the back line for Häkkinen. Häkkinen finishing from a tight angle, but a good save by Bartholomew Twinkletoes. Skovgaard, and a good challenge from Whittington. Skovgaard able to chase it down, though. And that shot goes over as well. Not been a great quantity of shots on target thus far from either side. Alps lacking that clinical finishing that has carried them so far. But here is 44. Back to Poggio. Now Moridelo right into the wall. Finding a deflection from Norden, and now Norden on the break. It's Häkkinen against that back line. Morgenstern in pursuit. Häkkinen crosses in, and Ace Faulkner getting the finish wrong. David Brooks Patron with a corner for the Alps. Or excuse me, for Norden. Ekholm Gunnarsson's header right at Twinkletoes. Here comes Alessandro Del Pirlo, the creative engine of this Alpine team. Whittington making a run into the box and takes a deflection for a corner. Poggio sending it in. Headed away by Norden, but Owen 44 was carrying it forward until Varnson dispossessed. And that is how it will be at the break. Norden and the Alps still deadlocked at 0-0. 3 shots on target apiece. Neither side really able to break through just yet. In fact, it's very balanced on the score sheet, as you can see. 8 shots apiece, 3 of them on target. Alps with a slight lead in XG, but 50-50 possession. Neither side really able to pull ahead in this match so far. Could take just a single moment of quality to set one of these sides apart. Will be an enthralling 45 minutes left as well. Remember, Alpine Federation already qualified, but assuming they do not have a massive goal difference swing, would remain first with this result. Some very tense conversations in those dressing rooms, I'm sure, during the halftime break. Perhaps tenser in the Norden locker room than in the Alpine one. Remember, the Norden side need a win to have any chance of qualifying. And Alexander Skovgaard and Bengt Ruben making their way onto the pitch for Norden, and Lever and O'Sullivan, the substitutes for the Alps. The second half has begun, and Hackett sending in a chance for Norden. And that one headed behind there by Tamano Whittington. Brooks Patron to deliver this corner kick out to the edge of the area, but it's well intercepted by Julian O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan in behind now, cutting inside and shoots opposite post, but can't get it on target. It was a good run from the substitute O'Sullivan, having replaced Owen 44 in that left central striker role. Now here's Hakkinen in the box, dangerous position for Norden, but Alps able to deal with it. Ekholm Gunnarsson out wide. Skovgaard loses out to Whittington. Poggio. A good run this from Alps, but Poggio losing out there. Now it's Alexander Skovgaard making a run up the other end for Norden. Forward to Varnson. Do Norden have the numbers? Brooks Patron squares it, and it's Alexander Skovgaard. Well, they needed a win, and as it stands, they might get one. A well-worked goal here for Norden. Varnson forced out wide. Brooks Patron passing it on to Skovgaard. Twinkletoes perhaps blocked by the body of Scarpetta there in central defense, unable to react in time. And so Norden 1, Alpine Federation 0 in the second half. And here come Norden pushing again from the corner. That shot from Ruben goes over. Well, will Norden be able to hold on to this and give themselves a chance of qualifying? Whittington dispossessing Dina Skovgaard. Now Peterson squaring it to Kimi Hakkinen. Norden coming in clutch when they need it. And who else but Kimi Häkkinen to break free and put one in the net. A vital part of that Schwarzwälder Fußballverein engine, and he's come up big for his federation here. Less than 10 to play, and Norden with a 2-0 lead on group-leading Alpine Federation. Ekholm Gunnarsson forward, finds Häkkinen again, and Alexander Skovgaard was pushing for a third there for Norden. Well, time winding down here in this match. Again, the Alpine Federation already safe. Norden, meanwhile, will have secured their end of proceedings, holding up their end of the bargain, you might say, with a 2-0 victory over the Alpine Federation. Damage done in the second half by Alexander Skovgaard and Kimi Häkkinen. This match was balanced on a knife edge for the longest time in the first half. It took a great strike from Skovgaard to break the deadlock. Tom Peterson for Norden, your player of the match, running all the way up and down the pitch. A key pass and a clear-cut chance, and generally very good play makes Peterson your player of the match here. And so Norden have done all they can do, and now they rely on the result of the second match in Group C, Eastern Europe versus Central Europe. Central Europe might have seen their qualification chances slip away with that win by Norden. Meanwhile, Eastern Europe certainly need a win, but they'll also need to catch up on goal difference. Of course, it'll depend on how that match affected the standings. We'll have to take a look at that here at the beginning of this match. 3 at the back for Eastern Europe, 2 holding midfielders, Schalesi and Kronos. Central Europe also with 3 at the back, Lopta playing a more withdrawn role compared to Clara Schmidt on the opposite side. And there you see Central Europe can still qualify. Eastern Europe might be out of it. We have begun here, Central Europe crossing it in. And that shot forces a corner kick. And Zizou Lopta sending the corner in, but it's headed over. And that free kick results in a corner here for Eastern Europe. Corner comes in, headed up in the air. Back to Kamenova. And Neuer able to hold on. Central Europe now building from the back. Lopta, though, can't get it under control, and now here come Eastern Europe. Kronos. Bit of a header battle. Cross comes in, headed down. And Kronos nearly getting the opening goal there. Schmidt through ball to Gerd Klose. But is he onside? VAR says, no, he was not. We'll take a look again. Klose ruled offside there, and it is fairly clear and obvious. Klose well behind that last line of defense for Eastern Europe. And that was a good chance there from Pinkman, and does win a corner for Eastern Europe. As we near halftime, neither side able to break through just yet. And that shot goes wide. Eastern Europe countering it here. It's Pinkman. Pinkman dribbling past the defense and off the post and put behind for a goal kick. A really good chance there for Eastern Europe, but it goes begging. And that is the last major action of the first half. Eastern Europe will believe they should be in front. As things stand, it is 0-0. Only 2 shots on target for Eastern Europe, but they're the only 2 shots on target in this match. Central Europe yet to put one on net. Remember, depending on that Alpine result, Central Europe still with a chance to qualify. Eastern Europe as well, but it'll be a lot harder for Eastern Europe. And we have begun this second half, Eastern Europe coming forward. Central Europe with a chance here as Muller sending it just wide of the post, courtesy of the keeper. And now here come Eastern Europe. Pinkman, though, losing control of it, and it will go back to Central Europe. Ken for Derisov. Derisov with the cross and headed at the far post by Suzuki. It went wide. Gorgon winning the ball there for Central Europe. Here comes Klose now for Central Europe. Had a goal disallowed in the first half, or earlier in the second half. Well, earlier in the match at any rate, as this corner comes in. Headed back out there to Clara Schmidt. And Schenkinger's shot goes past the post. And that one goes Well wide. Time running down on this one, and it is a scoreless draw. And it's a corner kick here for Central Europe. Well, we have just over 5 minutes to play. Neither side really able to get a hold on this one. Arasov through ball, though. And Pinkman hooks it wide and would have been offside anyway. Spoon finds Klose. And now Lopta cutting inside, shoots, and it goes over. Looking increasingly like this will be a scoreless draw unless this corner has anything to say about it. Lopta. And Gorgon sends it over. Eastern Europe with one last chance, but it's headed clear by that Central Europe defense, and that is it. The final score 0-0 between Eastern Europe and Central Europe. And unless I'm mistaken, that's not the result either side needed. We'll be able to sort out the math in the final reckoning a little later. But for the moment, it is Eastern Europe and Central Europe who have drawn. Norden might have just played themselves into a round of 16 slot with their victory over the Alpine Federation. Meanwhile, the Alps might take comfort in knowing that their first place spot might be secure. In any case, a disappointing result for both sides who had good chances at either end of the pitch. Ultimately, though, wasn't to be. Now, with that settled in Group C, we move on to Group D with a slightly more straightforward scenario. Central America and Caribbean will need a win or a draw along with an Asia loss as long as they can maintain their goal difference advantage. Meanwhile, the Asian Federation need a win or a draw, and for Central America, South America to draw or lose. And as for the Pyrenees, it remains simple. Win and you are in. These three teams still with plenty of chances to qualify and still plenty of intrigue left for us today. It's three at the back for Pyrenees. After that big win against the United States on match day 2, do they have the momentum to carry it through against Asia here? And we have kicked off here in Group D with Asia starting off, but Pyrenees immediately taking the ball up the other way. Now here's Kaido. Panda takes the shot and ultimately goes wide. Not wide, but into the keeper's hands. It's the opposite of wide. I don't know why I've said it's gone wide. Here comes Padrillo with the shot. And it's a good save by Munakoi Saran Satral. Corner comes in and it's headed over. Billy Bob finding Chang Shan at the edge of the area, shoots, and that had some real velocity behind it. Hashimoto with the corner, and Wang Jihao trying to tuck it in near post, but it takes another deflection. Kim Hyung Min fires into the crowd, and ultimately it's rebuffed. A win for Pyrenees would put them on 6 points, which would be enough to see them through and dispel the specter of the last WSFC. And on the other end, though, it is Kim Hyung Min who wins a corner for Asia. Pyrenees, of course, famously knocked out in the group stage in the first WSFC. This time could be able to qualify, but they need a win to be certain. Alvin Ball out wide. Roquefort Cotswold surging up the wing. Cormier. And that shot from Ben Harrison curls wide. And that long pass cut out there by Rigby Emerson. And now Asia can come up the other end. Zarek. Forward to Wang Jihao. Trying to square it there for Emerson, but couldn't. And then that long shot from Hashimoto ends up in the stands. Cormier to Cotswold. Cotswold with the cross to the other end, and it's headed in. I believe that was Rubio, but it looped into the air harmlessly. And so another match goes 0-0 at the half. Both sides with pretty good chances. Asia slightly having the better of it in the statistical reckoning. But which side will find the breakthrough? It's a match with severe qualification implications for both sides. Remember, the Pyrenees need to win. For Asia, a draw will suffice with the right result in the other match. to be a fly on the wall in the locker rooms of either of these teams. What adjustments are they making? While Jules Pelletier making their way onto the pitch in favor of Andres Pedrillo for Pyrenees. And there is Pelletier. Or apologies, that's Ben Harrison. Not the same person. Kurt Lightning finding Shoga Bonito on the edge of the area, kick-starting a creative move, but it's sent clear. Soren Tsutsral playing the goal kick short to King. But Panda losing out, and now Pyrenees briefly in a good position. Some quick thinking in defense by Asia, and now the ball back with the Asian side. Panda spraying it out wide. Nobody can quite run onto it, though. Deep throw for Pyrenees. And the referee has given a penalty. Going over to the monitor, the Pyrenees player was tripped up, it seemed, near the end line. Well, this could change everything in the calculus, and the penalty has been given, and it'll be Kurt Lightning to take it. Veteran midfielder stepping up and putting it past Soren Tsutsral. And that penalty might be the goal that sends Pyrenees to the knockouts. A bolt from the blue, courtesy of Kurt Lightning. Harrison's free kick deflected behind, and it's a corner for Pyrenees, looking to extend their lead. Bonito back to Lightning, and again. And Pyrenees offside, leading to an Asia free kick. Asia know that a loss does them no good, but Rubio nearly dispossessing in a very threatening position. Rubio has picked up a knock there. We'll have to see how that affects them. Meanwhile, Asia coming forward. Billy Bob, now Rigby Emerson, picking up the loose ball. At like 2%, gets past Pelletier and puts in the cross. Headed away by Cotswold. And Asia continuing to build pressure. It's over the top here for Shinji Kaido, and it's off the post for Shinji Kaido. Asia continuing the pressure, but losing out there. And Cormier sending it away to Harrison. A really good chance for Asia to equalize, but it's come to nothing. Now here's Pelletier. And at like 2%, concedes the corner. Well, if Asia end up falling out of the group stage, they'll look back at that moment. Shoga Bonito off the corner, back to Lightning. And Lightning offside. This has turned into a really exciting game. Still plenty of it left to be played. Emerson cutting inside, back to Panda. And now Hashimoto, but the pass in blocked by Cotswold. Cheng Shan trying to mop up. Asia continuing to pressure. Jihao through to Kaido. And Kaido this time right at Calvin Ball. Corner delivered by at like 2%. Asia forced back slightly. And that long pass trying to find Emerson, but instead rolls behind for a goal kick. Remember, a win of any kind is enough for Pyrenees. Asia need at least a draw and help, or a win would qualify them outright. Right now it's Lightning, and Harrison had a go. That wasn't on target. And all of a sudden, Pyrenees look more likely to extend their lead than Asia are to cut into it. Bonita with the corner, and just as I say that, Nathan Cormier puts one away for Pyrenees and might have put this match away. It's a near post corner. Cormier breaking away from the crowd, over the head of Zarek, past the outstretched arms of Saran Setsural, and into the round of 16 will go Pyrenees. Unless Asia can come up with something in the next less than 10 minutes, they might be going out here. Whereas Strongine. Now Cotswold. Harrison crosses, and it's Julian Rubio. Well, are looking at whether they're on side, and they are indeed. The icing on the cake for the Pyrenees. A well-worked goal, Harrison providing the assist. Rubio getting in front of the pack to put that one away. Just onside, as you can see there. It's a well-timed run. And the Pyrenees have come up big where it counts. Harrison up the far wing. Emerson tracking back. Ball punched away, and Asia dealing with it. And now, with even less time to do even more. Kaido tripped up there by Harrison, but the referee waves play on. And now here comes Lightning to Pelletier. Pelletier squares it, and it's Rubio again. Well, will this one stand? Pyrenees comfortably ahead regardless, and it will not stand. Rubio ruled offside. Or excuse me, Pelletier ruled offside, but Rubio in an offside position at that moment regardless. Nevertheless, Pyrenees retain a 3-0 lead, and with very little time remaining, that lead will likely remain intact. Zarek sends it back to Saran Setsural. Long ball only finds the Pyrenees defense. Pelletier threw on goal. Zarek did enough to put him off. Now Lightning floats in the corner, and Saran Setsural claims. In the dying seconds, can Asia get at least one back? It's Pyrenees with the ball, but losing out there. Quick counterattack on Wang Jihao, but there won't be enough time. And the Pyrenees with a famous 3-0 victory. And that should be enough to see them through, regardless of the result in the other match. It was the penalty from Kurt Lightning that opened the scoring for Pyrenees. Nathan Cormier weighing in, as well as Julian Rubio, scoring despite picking up an injury. It's Cormier who is your player of the match, being an ever-present factor in that Pyrenees defense and also getting on the score sheet. A very good team performance by Pyrenees today, and they'll be reaping the rewards in the knockout stage. As for Asia, their situation remains unclear. They may need help. They may not be able to catch Central America, Caribbean now. Nevertheless, a 3-0 defeat, disappointing in any context. So potential heartbreak for Asia, but celebrations on the Pyrenees bench as they know they're through. And now we move on to our final match of the group stage. Central America, Caribbean against the United States. Central America, Caribbean know that regardless, they will want to win in order to assure potentially top of the group, especially now that Asia has faltered. Meanwhile, the United States just looking for a win to try and put at least a to end at least a very rough campaign on a high note. One of the surprises of the tournament, USA's complete capitulation. Will they be able to right the ship against CAC, or will it be more of the same? Central America Caribbean coming out in that 4-2-4. Wagner and Boye on the wings there. In the USA, it's a radical shift in tactic to a three at the back, two up top. Both Kwakwo the Duck and Aaron Ford up top. And there you see, a draw will be enough here for Central America Caribbean, since Asia lost. A draw would give them enough points to assure qualification. However, they could still miss out if the USA win by enough. USA can do nothing about their status. They're going out regardless, but could still play spoiler. Here's Lizard making their first start in this WSFC. Ball falls to Duck. Duck cutting his side, shoots, and it's a good save by Aguilera. And already this is the most threatening the USA have looked all tournament. Brooks delivering the ball in, and it's headed clear. Duck trying to find Brooks there, but nothing doing. And now Boye on the counterattack. Corrigan with the diving challenge can't stop them. Long ball. And it's a good pass to Bailey Deali, but Williams able to stand firm and stop that one. And the USA ruled offside there on that move. Martel lays it off, and it's Jude Greer. Captain America finally on the score sheet. The American captain, having been a presence for their team so far, but unable to really influence proceedings, now has a goal. How will CAC respond? Like that! It's Cameron Bailey delivering a great shot past Williams from a long way out. Munoz passing it to Bailey, takes a touch, and just drills it into the net. An almost immediate response for CAC. Well, what a moment that was for CAC. Now Deali. It's Bailey again shooting, and this time Williams able to get over to save it. Well, CAC not taking kindly to being a goal down, have already equalized and are pushing for another one. Low corner, headed away. Aguilera with the long ball, headed down for Ford. Donnarumma, now Wagner. Nunez, and it's worked in. And Deali sending it over. Now CAC coming forward once again. Headed down by Chambers, but it finds Deali. Wagner. Now Bailey. Dispossessed by Corrigan, but Boyer still with it. Deali worked to Jake Bradford, and Bradford goes wide. Bradford, a transferee from the United States. It would be poetic justice almost if he were to score here. Deali, free kick goes in, and Williams at full stretch stops the header from going in. It has been all CAC since that USA goal. And it's Jake Bradford right on cue. And Central America Caribbean pull ahead. Oh, a well-worked corner. Jake Bradford able to get away from the crowd and puts that one in the net. USA winning possession high up the pitch. Martel's shot blocked immediately and dribbles behind for a corner kick. It's Greer to take this one. Floated in and headed over the bar. Worked up again, but Ford's pass for Duck, not quite on target. Chambers. Sending it all the way back to Williams in goal. Martel through the middle. Brooks. And Greer takes a shot and wins a corner. Greer already on the score sheet today. Floats in the corner. It's headed up and behind for a corner at the other end. This one to be delivered by Jalen Brooks. And that one floated far post. Headed out. And it's Duck who gets onto it. Man finding Martel. USA being forced back here. Chambers. And now Lizard. Lizard cutting around the defender. Crosses in. And a threatening header there by Quacoval the Duck. But it goes wide. Time winding down in this first half. And that is the state of affairs at the half. Perhaps, as far as I can tell, for the first time at this tournament, the USA leading on XG rather, but still trail 2-1 against Central America Caribbean. CAC looking much more threatening as they come forward. Can the USA finish the tournament strong and at least gain a point from this match? Or will it be CAC cementing their spot at the top of Group D? Still 45 minutes left in this group phase to find out. Remember, the USA already eliminated. No matter what they do here, they cannot advance. CAC, meanwhile, need at least a draw to be comfortable. They could still advance with a loss, provided that they don't concede too many goals. Still with the advantage on goal difference. It's Adam Knight and Bob Gronkowski on the pitch for the United States. Hugh Mann and Aaron Ford making way, respectively. Lizard knocking it past Wagner and winning a deep throw. This is, again, the best the United States have looked all tournament. looking fairly tepid throughout. Apart from that thrilling 4-3 match on match day 1, is that shot saved by Williams. Wagner getting past Lizard, puts in the cross. It's Bradford. Cameron Bailey. Boyer shoots over. Lizard finds Brooks. Duck. Now Greer, trying to get around Maldonado. Crosses in. Nunez there to block it, but Greer still with it. Pings out to Lizard. Crosses into the center. And Greer has a go. And it's a corner kick. And again, the United States getting a good threat in the box, but unable to make it count. Brooks with the corner, and it's headed away. Martel plays the 1-2 with Duck. Duck inside and forces a save out of Aguilera. Some sustained pressure by the United States with just over 20 to play. Greer's corner comes in and plucked out of the air by Aguilera. Knight. And it falls to Duck. Brooks to Duck. And Duck's finish wayward. Time running out for the United States to gain at least a point from their group stage adventure. Meanwhile, the CAC continue to lead this match and would be top of the group as things stand. Here's Brooks. Potential chance for the United States. And it goes wide. Now Duck up the near wing. Could be one of the last chances for the United States. Crossed in. Headed away by Donnarumma. Daly loses out to Greer there. Maldonado taking their time on this throw, wanting to bleed out those last few seconds of clock. And full time, and it's CAC who will top Group D. A 2-1 victory over a hard-working United States team that on this occasion just didn't have what it took. Cameron Bailey and Jake Bradford scoring the goals for CAC. USA with a goal from Jude Greer. Cameron Bailey, your player of the match for CAC, and they will be moving on to the knockout stage. As for the United States, they will end this group stage without so much as a point, losing all 3 of their group matches. Certainly a surprise there. Certainly a valiant effort on the day for the Americans, but dropping that heartbreaker to Asia in the first match and then being demolished by Pyrenees in the second. Meanwhile, Central America, Caribbean looking very impressive throughout and ultimately will make the knockouts.
Editor Canada's here, and I just wanted to recap a bit about the results from today's games in Group C and D and what that affects or how that affects the qualifiers for the quarterfinals of the World Simulation Football Classic. We saw Norden taking a 2-0 victory over Alps, or the Alpen, and we saw a 0-0 draw between Eastern and Central Europe. What this means in terms of the final group stage is that Norden surpasses Central Europe in terms of points, or rather, they catch up to Central Europe in terms of points, and they advance because of the goal differential. So the Central Europe needed to win in order to advance. They did not. They drew. So Norden and Central Europe, with Norden's win, got them on the same points 4. But Norden advances on goal differential. In Group D, we saw Pyrenees taking on Asia and winning 3-0, and the Central America and Caribbean winning 2-1 over the United States. This was also a group which had 3 teams battling out for the 2 final spots, actually. And with the Central America win, they clinched the group. And with the Pyrenees win, they get the second promotion, or second qualifying spot from Group D. So we will see Central America and the Caribbean joining the Pyrenees in the quarterfinal matchups. And the quarterfinal matchups has already been drawn, as they are structured. The first in Group A meets the second in Group D, if I'm not mistaken. And we mix and match the groups here, with the first playing the second ranked team. So we have the matches for the quarterfinal. We have Oceania facing off against West Africa, Alpen facing off against Benelux, Central American and Caribbean facing off against Norden, Eurasia against the Pyrenees. So these are the quarterfinal matchups that we will see premiere later in this week. Now back to Metafiction.
And that is it for the group stage here at the World Simulation Football Classic. The 8 teams that will advance have been decided. It's been a very exciting group stage full of instant classic matches and some really strong individual performances. And now the attention shifts to the 8 survivors as the knockout stage commences later this week. It's going to be an enthralling time for everyone involved. So we really hope that you'll join us as we enter the quarterfinals. We'll hope to see you then. Until then, this has been Metafiction. Thank you for joining us. Take care.